Okay, well here we are again. It's been a very busy week, so I haven't had a lot of chance to get much done with the Titan. After finishing the legs that we saw in the last video, I decided to go ahead and work on the weapons. So that's what I have here in front of me now. 2 volcano cannons and 2 of the turbo laser destroyers, or whatever they happen to be called, with the lovely laser weapons that sit on top of the carapace and swim around. I meant to have this video done earlier. I cleaned up the pieces, washed them all, I got them all sorted, started gluing them together with my trusty 2-part epoxy glue, only to discover that there are actually a few gaps. Something that quite surprised me after the legs, where there were really no problems with gaps, just a problem with me not mixing the glue well enough, to moving to these guys. So first up I'm going to show you this piece. So this is one of the volcano cannons that sits on the arm like this. Now the plate will sit on the side like this. But it's got a few pieces along the way. There's the large heat sink section at the back. We've got the main body of the gun and the barrel. It also has some cabling around it. Wouldn't be anything if there wasn't exposed cabling. I haven't glued this in yet because you can see around here there's a lovely gap here. So this is glued together in place along this line, little gaps around here. Essentially these 2 pieces, when cleaned up, didn't fit nice and snugly together. So in there at the moment I have green stuff. I put the green stuff in yesterday. That's dried now. This section I drilled and pinned with my brass, the piece of the brass rod, and the trusty drill, which I need to recharge, and then some green stuff as well. So that's all nice and tight right now, all nice and sturdy, so I have no problems with that. It says with some of the hoses dropping off. That's fine, I can glue those back in. So yeah, that was just a little bit disappointing, a little bit of a, you can see some of the gaps there. I can put my tool inside these joints. This means there's a bit of extra work to do. So I'll be doing that, a little bit of that tonight, some of it on Sunday night. I'm away for the weekend with the family. So, but we'll get that done and get that filled in. But these should be very cool once they're done. This, as I said, this piece of armor sits on the side here. So this makes it the right side gun. And the other piece, you see I've already started doing some of the green stuff work around here. Got some more to do around this piece. A few more gaps to fill here. This one has the mounting on the other side, so the gun shield would fit on here. The other pieces to attach to the volcano cannon are this excellent cowling, which actually runs in here. In the end it will hide some of these gaps, so that's alright. I don't have to fill everything, but this will sit over here, which looks pretty mean. And very cool. One of the other sections I have to work on there are these, which are, this one fits in here and goes up to the There we go. So it basically sort of stabilizes, I guess, the fin in underneath the main barrel of the volcano cannon. Now I'm not sure if you can see this against the black there, but it's got a bit of a warp in it. That happens with the resin, particularly in long, thin pieces like this. You're typically going to get a warp. That might have happened when it was, if the piece was pulled out of the mold too quickly, or if it was still curing when it was pulled out of the mold, essentially. But popping this in some hot water will allow me to bend it and straighten it back up. If the water's hot enough and this did spend enough time in the mold, it might actually return to its shape by itself, but it's looking a little bit droopy at the moment, so I wouldn't be able to fit it into the position on the gun. Be able to deal with that, that's not a problem. I think one or two of the others are in a similar state. And another thing you'll notice with the cowling here, and this is in place, there's a gap between the two, which is what we're looking for. This gun cowl here obviously has a bit of a droop as well, so it comes down to touch that. So you want to heat this up in hot water and be able to bend that back into position. So I'll be doing that as well. It's all a bit of a mess because there are lots of bits and pieces being glued together and standing up. As you can see, lots of rubber bands were being used at the time. So I thought these were a little bit off-putting, but just a bit of extra work to get those done. The for the turbo lasers on top of the carapace, that gap issue was sort of even more pronounced with this heatsink section attached to the back. So kind of a gap all the way around here, caps on each side I can stick the tool into. I've already started putting some green stuff in around here, so I don't know if that showing up on camera, but yep, that needs to be filled. The other gun, same issue there, but that's got some epoxy glue, some epoxy putty in there, so in the end that should be nice and strong, ready to go. Honestly, it's nothing too bad, but it's just going to add a little bit of extra time to getting the weapons completed. Another thing I'll show you here, this is the sort of the swivel mount for the carapace weapons. This piece here sits into a cup on top of the shoulder, so and then this sort of fits in here. Now this can obviously be pointed up, can be pointed down, it's got a range of motion through there. I'm going to take a very sort of simple approach to determining where I want that motion to be. At the moment, these are the piston pieces. These two pistons sit inside there, connect to there, and to that point. So if I want to have it extended up, I could. If I want to have it pushed down, I just need to trim those out a little bit so that this can push in further. The way I'm going to decide how deep to make this are these cables that connect here and here. This cable would connect here, this one would connect there, so that's where I'm going to glue them. Nice and simple. I think that'll give me a pretty reasonable look on the battlefield as well. One thing to note in the game setting with the carapace weapons is that the carapace weapons can't shoot at anything within 24 inches of the Titan. They just aren't able to sort of depress that low. So really, having it pointing up like this won't be too much of an issue. So I've got those to stick on, that to glue in. The cowlings for these seem to be pretty good, so there we go. There's no real work I have to do with those, but of course none of the cowlings or the side plates will be glued on. I'll save those, just keep those aside for all my armor plating painting, which will be just fine. There's quite a lot from the legs already. But yeah, so getting there. Pretty excited about this next step. Was hoping it would be a bit quicker, but hey, you get that. And just an idea of how large these volcano cannons are. Push everything aside. Here are the legs. Oh. So currently from the base to the tip, the volcano cannons stand taller than the hip plate or the torso plate here on the Titan. So pretty beefy guns, which is cool. Just off camera here, I have my Reaver Titan, and when they sit on the base, they reach to the top of the carapace. So certainly very cool. So I'll get those done between now and the next video, and then we get to start working on this bit, which is going to be enormous. I better get my skates on. This is December already, so just under 4 months now until Adepticon, where I want to have it all ready for. So I'm going to be busy. Excellent. Thanks for watching.